You know, with the Obama administration coming back in for the second term, there's a new level of attention and energy being focused on environmentalism and clean energy. A lot of discussion about climate change and what is the responsibility of each of us individually as well as the business community. It's a very interesting and controversial topic. I've got a gentleman here that you will not believe. His name is Bryan Mellage. He's from Auburn, Nebraska. I've been involved with him off and on for a number of years, and he's put together a carbon offset website. So if you feel your conscience knows and is telling you that you're polluting every time you jump in the car and drive around, you want to offset that carbon pollution and the contribution to greenhouse gases, you now have an option. It's a responsible choice that every one of us has to make, and this gentleman is facilitating it, and he's from Nebraska, a one-of-a-kind guy. Please welcome my good friend now, Mr. Bryan Mellage, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, right here. So glad to see you, bud. Thanks for coming all the way up from Auburn. It's a drive, it's a very cold day, and it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining me. Tell me now, what is a carbon credit or a carbon offset? I think that's the first thing a lot of people aren't fully, regardless of should we do it or should not, let's just talk about what it means to purchase or invest in a carbon offset.
The technical term for a carbon offset is a metric ton of CO2.
A metric ton of CO2.
Which is 2,200 pounds.
Okay, 2,200 pounds.
It's a global idea, so it's all done in metric measurements.
All right, all right.
To purchase a carbon offset, you have asked to offset your personal carbon emissions. And if you make a carbon offset purchase, you're offsetting 2,200 pounds of carbon CO2 that you have put into the ozone.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, those of us in Omaha, Nebraska, we leave Creighton University, we drive to Lincoln, for instance, spend maybe 45 minutes or an hour on the road. What would a typical used vehicle emit insofar as pollution, driving there and back? Is that something somebody would say, okay, I want to offset my, my carbon footprint that I created today?
That's a very good thing. The average purchase of a carbon offset in the United States revolves around about $20.
$20?
A gallon of gas that is burned from old carbon fuels. That carbon then is emitted into the ozone. It latches onto 2 molecules of oxygen. There is 14 pounds of CO2 in every gallon of gas.
14 pounds of CO2 in every gallon of gas.
So drive from here to, here to Lincoln, you would, burn maybe, 10 gallons of gas. The math's pretty easy.
Okay. Now, you have a carbon offset website.
Correct.
It's called C-.
Correct.
Very interesting word. I'm assuming that C means carbon, so minus means taking carbon out.
Yep.
Right? Very interesting name. And so what's the purpose and the point of C-? How do they go to a website then, and what do they do? What's the procedure?
I think
if they feel conscionable that they want to do this.
In the United States, the carbon market is a voluntary market. In Europe, it is a mandatory market.
Yes.
As of January 1, California now is the first state in the union that has a cap and trade. So we do have it in the United States now. But
is that right?
Yes.
I thought the sentiment was profoundly against cap, so it's a state-related issue now. It's
state-related, and it was also voted in by the public, and the people of California voted for this and put it into law.
Wow, that's good news. Okay, so continuing, that's very interesting.
The voluntary market in America, a person has to feel that personal responsibility to move forward to do this.
Yeah, they don't have to do it.
There is not anything that says you have to do it as of yet.
Okay, very interesting.
So a person feels that there's a responsibility he wants to do something for the environment, he wants to be that person that makes a difference. He wants to think globally, but he's going to act locally. And to do that, he needs to do something. C- gives a person that opportunity to make that transition from going, I don't know how I can do something for the environment, now I have a way to do it.
So they have maybe a positive attraction to the environmental movement,
Correct.
But they don't really know how to do anything tangible that makes a difference. Now, how does it really make a difference? In other words, the $20 offsets the carbon footprint, goes to Bryan Mellage in Auburn, Nebraska. All right. Now, what are you going to do with that money?
The money we're going to do and what we would like to set up, and the word sustainability comes to play, we have to get sustainability not our food, our water, but our energy.
Yeah.
And energy, we feel in the future will turn from a centralized large plants burning coal or natural gas to what we would call distributed energy, which is locally and smaller, and it's near where we're going to use it. C- would like to set up a funding mechanism to help people that would like to get into that.
Okay.
Say a business or a farm would like to purchase a solar or a wind turbine to produce electricity for themselves. The carbon offset money coming in from the purchases done voluntarily by
the
individuals.
investments in the carbon offsets, the $20 here and $20 there.
Yes.
Going to go through your firm, C-.
Yes.
And what are you going to do with it? You're going to set up alternative energy small businesses around the country? Or
Nope,
what?
they won't be small businesses. It will be a funding pool of money then people can tap into to purchase and to then build their own renewable energy system.
Wow. And tell us a little bit before we wrap up here, the thing with the soil and paying farmers to not turn and till the soil. This is fascinating.
The carbon has to come from somewhere. It's just like the currency system. You have to back up that currency. Our carbon offsets will be backed up by carbon that we'll purchase from farmers doing certain practices.
Okay.
We're going to be purchasing carbon that is sequestered in the soil underneath grassland.
Okay.
Grassland,
and there's a lot of that in the state of Nebraska.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Mother Nature has figured out this a long time ago, that the carbon that we get from the ozone through photosynthesis becomes carbon in the soil, the
Yes.
biomass or the tilth in the soil, which can improve soil, the quality of the soil.
Yeah.
It improves water quality, soil quality, so we're doing something improving, and now we're paying a farmer to hold and keep grass on his ground, therefore improving the soil.
Yes.
and capturing carbon.
You know who I wish was here? Beverly Crocker from the Ethics Alliance. It'd be a very interesting discussion to have. Is this ethical to not till the soil? Right? Very interesting, because you have some strong opinions either way about what truly represents integrity,
Yep.
what the really the highest notion really is in this context. Fascinating business. Bryan Mellage from Auburn. C- is almost launched as a website.
Correct.
And you are a gentleman of integrity, and I respect you greatly, so I wish you the greatest success in this venture. It's a very interesting thing. Make a difference with Mr. Bryan Mellage. How about a round of applause? The C-. Got Andy Greenberg coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. We'll see you soon. Thanks.